the old guys Mead. Tonight we are live, starting a brand new batch of Mead. This one goes out to my Mead mentor Scott, who sent me this amazing ingredient that I've yet to do anything with. We're going to try it tonight. Tonight, he sent me this Nettle, which is like a tea. It smells so amazing. I wish you could like smell it through the camera. Nettle, ginger, and blood orange mead. We're going to get started. Before I get started, everything that you see that's going to touch my meat in any portion of this video has been sanitized. It's incredibly important for everything to be super clean and sanitized. Yeast likes the same environment as lots of other gross things. We want to make sure the yeast is the only thing that's living. So make sure you sanitize everything before you get started. I also pre-measured 3 pounds of honey into this pot right here, and that's it. Everything else we're going to do live right now. We're going to start by adding in about half a gallon of water to this honey. And the purpose of that is I'm going to plug this tabletop stove top on in a second. And we're going to warm this honey for 2 reasons. The biggest one is to dissolve the honey. As it warms up, it becomes more liquid. And we want to dissolve the honey as much as we can. We also want the yeast to get a really good, comfortable start. So you don't want to make it too hot, but we are going to dissolve the honey into this water. Yeast does have a temperature tolerance, so you want to make sure you stay below that. So we always want to warm it up. And while we're waiting, we're going to do it a couple ounces. This is like 3 ounces worth of Nettle. Maybe 2. It smells so good. Into the bucket. And then this is about 2 ounces, 2 tablespoons-ish worth of ginger. I went to get fresh ginger, couldn't find it, so this is like, like a bottle of ginger. It still works. Also smells amazing. Ginger is one of those things that, like, really quick. You want to be careful what you put in there. But you can find this in your local grocery store. Easy to find. And then I took 3 blood oranges and sliced them into thin slices. If you've never seen a blood orange before, shame on you. The room is really out in grocery stores this time of year, and they are exactly what they sound like. They're oranges. They taste almost just like oranges. They're blood red in the middle. And the longer that they ripen, the more that permeates through the skin, and the outside starts to red. So we slice those up. I'm going to leave the zest on there, so the skin is still on there. 3 blood oranges into the bucket. We're going to go ahead and add the other half gallon of water to that. While we continue to warm up this honey. It smells so wonderful. It smells so wonderful. If this is a gentleman's mead, like, if it's not, I don't know what else is. I don't know what else is. This is the gentleman's mead. Alright, let's give this a stir. This won't take long. Again, we're just trying to dissolve the honey into the water here. If you don't know what mead is, it's made in a very similar fashion as wine, except we use honey for the fermentation process instead of grapes or other fruits. But every combination exists in between. The flavors are lemon. I make a brand new batch of it every single Saturday. Batch 156 comes out this coming Saturday, and I never replicated a recipe, not one time. Every single one has been absolutely unique. But it is the oldest alcoholic beverage in the world, independently discovered by many different countries and cultures. The oldest evidence is actually from Africa over 20,000 years ago. That information just came out last year in an article from some archaeologists. There's also evidence in China, about 10,000 years old. There's evidence in ancient Central America, and of course Northern Europe, where the Vikings traded it, made it super famous, did it better than everybody else. But what that means is regardless of who you are or where you're from, your ancestors drank mead. And I think that's the coolest thing about it. And if you want to be as cool as your ancestors, make your own alcohol at home. I'm showing you exactly how easy it is to do it. Alright, we are just about done here. We're going to unlock this honey. Our honey's dissolved into our water here. We're going to go ahead and combine the two. Typical yeast packet. These come in many different varieties. This one in particular is EC1118, which is a champagne strain of yeast. These are 5-gram packets. We're going to add in just over about half of it. You only really need about 2.5 grams. And then I'm also going to add in about 2 grams or half a teaspoon of yeast nutrient. This will help the yeast get a good running start there. Alright, this is our fermenting lid to our 2-gallon fermenting bucket here. It's got a little fermenting hole there. We are going to pound this guy in. Seal her up. Nice and tight, nice and tight. Drop the stuff. Alright, put your thumb over that hole. Make sure your thumb is clean. That also counts as being sanitized. And shake her up. Make sure we're nice and dry and clean there. Now we're going to add in our 3-piece airlock. I prefer these over your typical S-shaped airlocks you see most brewers use. These guys are much easier to clean, take apart, and sanitize. This little cap goes over that center straw there, and we're going to fill this about halfway full of water. And then the piece 3 is this little cap. It goes right on there. And we're done. Over the next 48 hours or so, that yeast will reproduce and start eating sugars like crazy. It'll produce 2 byproducts. One, carbon dioxide, which will come out this airlock, down the straw, around the water, and out into the atmosphere. And then alcohol, which will retain in this bucket. In a few weeks of complete fermentation, the yeast will actually hit its alcohol tolerance, and it will not be able to survive any longer. At that point, we will be live again on another Wednesday Live, probably 3 weeks from today. And we'll be racking this into a secondary location with this batch. But as for this one, we're done. Now we wait. Thank you so much for watching the Old God's Meadery. Your mead bucket. I make more mead than anybody on the planet. More mead recipes than anybody on the planet. You can fact check that. Nobody else makes more mead recipes than I do. Come back every single Saturday for a brand new batch, and come back every single Wednesday to see a step of the process live. Thank you so much for letting me be here. If you're live right now, wait a second, I'm going to rearrange the camera. If you're not live, shame on you. I'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you for watching the replay. Skull! Welcome to the Old God's Meadery. Tonight's a very special night. We're going to be racking this blood orange nettle and ginger mead. This was inspired by my good buddy and good mentor of mine, Scott. He sent me this nettle, which I've never seen before. I'm sure you can order some. It's a like flower style, like dried, almost like hibiscus, but it's brown. It smells wonderful. You can make teas out of it. So we made this a few weeks ago on one of these Wednesday Lives, and it's going to be awesome. This is your Wednesday mead, and oh, it smells cool. I don't know what color it is though. Let me come down to the camera and show you. I'll let you take a ponder there. All right, so that's where we're starting. If you don't know what mead is, it's the oldest alcoholic beverage in the world. I shouldn't go through the commercials while I'm saying this. And I make a brand new batch of it every single week. This is your blood orange, nettle, and ginger mead. I can't quite tell what the smell is. I'm going to get this going. So we made this a few weeks ago. Put all the ingredients in here, including the yeast. It fermented, bubbled like crazy. That means the yeast replicated, reproduced, ate all the sugars that were available in there until it hit its alcohol tolerance. It could no longer make any more alcohol, so the yeast then dies off, and we get this like flat. What I'm going to do tonight is transfer it over to our 1-gallon glass carboy. So we're going to use this mini hand pump size and pump it a couple times. But because our bucket is raised above our carboy, gravity will do most of the work here. If there wasn't so much nettle, you probably should have used like a cloth bag, cheesecloth bag here. I say US. Somebody should have reminded me to do that because you can hold it out. But that's okay. There's going to be a lot in there. It'll settle to the bottom. It actually looks like it's pretty heavy already. So we're using this mini hand pump siphon to transfer it from a 2-gallon fermenting bucket to our 1-gallon glass carboy. There, it'll sit for a few months. You'll see as this volume actually increases. It's going to be pretty cloudy still. We're going to let it sit for a few months, and eventually it'll become clear like the rest of the see here. That just means all of the stuff that was dissolved into the mead has settled and settled to the bottom. So the nettle, all of the parts you can't see, there's dead yeast in there, all of that will settle. It's just the crystal clear, crisp mead up top. But this is incredibly easy to do. If you're intimidated by mead making, give me a follow. I'll show you how to make a brand new batch every single Saturday. I am here making a brand new batch. I put out a video every Saturday morning that shows you from beginning to end how to make a brand new batch. Every single batch is a brand new recipe. I have never, since I started this journey, replicated a recipe. Every single one is unique and brand new. That's 160 comes out this Saturday. So stay tuned to get your spring equinox mead. But just as an example, if you missed it, last week was our roasted malt mead. I'm sorry, that's 2 weeks ago. Last week was your Irish mule mead that we made for St. Patrick's Day. That was a lot of fun. It has some whiskey in it. Go back and see how I made it. And I do that every single Saturday. And I put every single recipe free in the description of the video. As you see, this is kind of unusual. That's mostly because it was kind of clogged at the end. This mini handle is great. It's very old. This is one of my first pieces of equipment that I own. I have altered it a little bit. I have taken off the regulator on the tip side of it. I don't like it. It makes it a little bit more difficult, especially when you get to it. I don't think I like it. But as you see here, we're just about a foot of the way through. If you don't know what mead is, it's the oldest alcoholic beverage in the world, independently discovered by many different countries and cultures. The oldest of it is from Africa, over 20,000 years ago. Name one thing that's that old. You cannot. It might be the oldest thing in the world. It's definitely the oldest alcoholic beverage. Far older than beer, far older than wine. There's also evidence in ancient China. There's evidence in ancient Central America. And of course, Northern Europe, where the Vikings traded and made it super famous. But what that means is, regardless of who you are or where you're from anywhere on the planet, somewhere in your lineage, somewhere, one of your ancestors drinks some mead. And I think that's awesome. It's the most awesome quality that your ancestor has that I know about. That's for sure. That means we have something in common. So we can be friends if you're a mead maker, or you like drinking mead. Either one. Or you just like watching me make mead. That's also welcome to the Old God's Meadery. And I make a lot of it. Every single Saturday, a brand new batch. And then, addition to that, every single Wednesday, I go live, like we are right now, to show you different steps of the process live. This is step 2 of 3. This is racking the mead. We're just going to have to kind of restart that every couple seconds here, because I know this is coming out a lot more than I thought it was going to get in. That's okay. Like I said, this will definitely settle to the bottom as it clarifies. We're just have to be careful not to stir it around to go to bottle it. But in the meantime, if you're going to make this recipe, use like a mesh pad, cheesecloth for your nettle. Be smarter than me. Learn from my mistakes. But mead, by definition, is made in a very similar fashion as wine, except we use honey for the main fermentation process instead of grapes or the fruits. So the actual definition has to be 51% or more honey sugar source from honey. As you see, every combination exists between. I make a brand new recipe every single Saturday. There's many right in front of me. I have 160. That's what comes out this Saturday. And that doesn't include these live batches, which I also have a replica recipe of. Always a lot of fun. So give me a follow if you want to start making your own alcohol at home. And it'll make it the coolest person in your group of friends. Easy. You'll be the coolest person there. We're getting there. We're just over halfway. Just about. And the bunny's looking sad. I really expected this to be like more red. The blood oranges are very, very red, and it's got a very similar color actually to like a strawberry mead. So it's somewhere in between honey and strawberry. This one appears to be about that as well. In between blood orange and honey. It's not quite a red, it's not quite a brown. It's like right in the middle of those. I'm still very happy with it. I think I'm smelling the nettle. I think that's the smell. I don't take all three videos and stitch them together so we have one in video. It's the first time I've ever done it with this patch. This is somewhere around patch 30 or so for our lives. So it's been a long time and overdue. I apologize, but now I've got it together. These Wednesday lives will make sense from week to week. So definitely join me every single Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm here showing you steps of the process. Last week we started a brand new batch of lemon lime mead with a twist. That was pretty awesome. I used lime juice, I used lemonade, I used lime. I even put a box of Airhead candy because why not? So go back and watch the replay from last week. And this week is step 2. We're wrapping this. We are getting there, almost there. We're worried about that stall at the beginning, which is over a 10-minute time period. Yeah, we're gonna be in trouble. Well, nobody will care. So I appreciate you guys sticking around. Thank you so much. We're almost there. For your patience. And then again, if you're actually live right now as I'm speaking, stick around. We're going to rearrange camera and have a good time afterwards. If you're watching the replay, please come back next Wednesday, every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then 9 a.m. going forward every single Saturday, I'll show you a brand new patch. This coming Saturday is your spring equinox meeting. I like it. It's a more simplistic one, but it's going to be perfect for spring. You're gonna love it. Very simplistic. I'm going to be able to replicate incredibly easy at home. But all my batches you can make at home. Every ingredient that I use is accessible, whether it's grocery store, Amazon. You will be able to find everything that I use. All you have to do is buy your own equipment and your own ingredients. You can follow along. Every single recipe I ever do is always in the description of this video, so you can just replicate it yourself. The only thing I ask is your smiles. All I want. If you really want to support what I do, you can check out my Printify shop profile. I do some t-shirts, and you can subscribe on TikTok. That gives you a chance to get your own mead. This one's going to go to my buddy Scott. When it's all said and done, I'm going to tilt this just a little bit to see if I can get some nettle. So down there, I can see some nettle clogging up the straw there. Way more nettle than I want to do. Again, if you're going to do this, use a cheesecloth bag. Almost there. I'm waiting for it to get to the bottom of that handle knuckle right there. That's about how much volume that is going to be left to fill it up right when I pull this out. Right, so we want to be there at the bottom. Good enough. All right, let's flip spots. And we're almost done. We're going to put this up here. Now we're going to add in our fermenting cap. There's a couple versions of this. This is screw cap. These are the ones I prefer. There's also a little like plug porch in there with a hole in it. Then we're going to add in our 3-piece Derlock. These are far superior to your S-shaped Derlock. These are easy to take from the cream. We're going to add in a dab of water. That way, if there's any fermentation left, any yeast that still ferments in here, it will have plenty of room to still ferment. Carbon dioxide produces when it starts eating cheese. Carbon dioxide, which will safely leak out into the environment, and alcohol, which will stay in the bucket. Over time, in this glass of white, over time, it's settle, like I said, it becomes very clear. It actually is firm already now that I'm holding it up. I'm very excited about it. Thanks so much for watching Your Old God's Meadery. A little bit of a behind the scenes, but outside of that, I think it went great. If you're live, like I said, stick around. I want to know what you thought. If you're not live, come back next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys all next time. Skull every single Saturday. Come check out. Hello and welcome to the Old God's Meadery. Tonight, we're wrapping up our Nettle, ginger, and blood orange mead. Here it is. It is clarified. We are getting, we're in good shape. There's only one thing left to do, and that's the bottle. There's two things left to do. Bottle it, and then So we're removing our airlock here, and I've got my mini hand pump siphon ready to go. This actually is a device. If you saw me use this earlier, when we racked this mead, I used gravity to kind of help me out there. I prefer not to do that in the bottling process. I like to kind of just control the pace here. Hopefully we can get to do this without anything tipping over. But we're going to use our mini hand pump siphon. I have removed the regulator at the end of the piping there, which is really difficult to do when you only have one person doing this, unless you're using gravity. But if you're kind of controlling it like I am, it's very, very difficult to do. There we go. Hopefully we can do this without spilling everything. Of course, I have something twisted here. But once we get a little bit of weight in there, we should be in good shape. Like I said, this is Nettle, Ginger, and Blood Orange Mead. This is the first time I've actually captured and retained all the videos from the live. So I will be reposting that video this weekend, probably Sunday. It will be over 25 minutes long. So I'm going to put it out as a test video. If it's well liked, I'll continue to retain these lives going forward. But I saved the video when we started this. I saved the video when we racked it. And tonight I will be downloading this video of me bottling it. Bottle 1 is right there and done. So if you guys want to see the whole process, beginning and end, unedited, it will be out this weekend. And it's very exciting. I can tell you right now, if you're gonna replicate this, put your Nettle in like a cheesecloth bag. I've got a lot of Nettle particles. You may have seen them come through in the bottle, but you know, it is what it is. I don't care. It's like a tea. If you don't know what Nettle is, it's kind of like a tea. My fear with this batch is I use too much of it. I'm afraid that it's going to be a little strong on the flavor side. We'll see terribly. But there's definitely enough in there that it's going to be pretty hard to avoid it getting through. You can also filter it. Most people try to avoid doing that on a Mead scale because anytime you filter anything, you actually filter everything, including the flavor, the color profile. So anytime you're brewing something, filtering it is usually one of the last options. You can control it. But I'm just hand pumping away, as you see. It is a very simplistic process here. We're just filling these bottles up, and then I get to about halfway up the neck of that bottle. I just know because of my experience with this specific siphon that that's about the volume displacement from that straw. So I'll show you right here. You fill this about halfway full of the neck, and by the time I remove the straw, it puts it right back to where it should be, at the very bottom of the neck of that bottle. But when it comes to stuff like that, every piece of equipment is different, so you will learn your own. But this part may seem easy, and it is. I've done this a lot of times, so I'm pretty used to it. But I can tell you the entire process is this easy. If you don't make your own alcohol at home now, give me a follow. I'll show you exactly how I do it and how easy it can be. I make mead in the most simplistic fashion I can every single week. Every single Saturday, I come out with a brand new batch with an instructional video that shows you how I made it from beginning to end. And then I always put the recipe free in the description so you can replicate it and make your own. And then in addition to that, every Wednesday, like tonight, I go live to show you different steps of the mead making process live. Tonight we're doing step 3 of 3 of the major mead steps, and we're bottling in this mead. So there it is. Let me set this guy aside, get out of the way. Try not to spill anything crazy. And now we're ready to go ahead and cork this. So this is a double lever corker. I actually own a floor corker. If you've seen any of my Saturday videos, but the cork goes right in here. The double lever corker is fun because you get to show off your manly forearms. Or your lady forearms. Your lady. But do you see those? You don't get to show those off with a floor corker. You only did get to do it with this double lever corker. And there you go. That bottle is done. These Wednesday batches, I don't typically put labels on, and I don't have labels around for this one. This one kind of was suggested by Scott. He actually sent me the Nettle. but he didn't really suggest it. I was like, let me put some cool stuff together with the nettle that Scott sent me. We were going to do a nettle contest at one time, and it just never came to pass. So I was like, I gotta use this nettle. The last bottle, I have these little temporary corks. You can find these at Walmart. If you're gonna drink it the next several days, just get those. They're easier. Alright guys, now there's only one thing left to do. Let's try it. Like I said, there's definitely some nettle sediment in there. It's just kind of floating around. Like, it's not terrible. It's not great. Definitely want to avoid that if you're going to make that your own, though. I like it. It's clear. It's a beautiful color. It's pretty close to a traditional mead. A little bit darker. That's probably from the blood oranges. If you don't know what blood oranges are, I didn't either until I started mead making, but they're an orange that come out early spring, late winter, early spring every year. You'll see them in your grocery stores. They look and pretty much taste like an orange, but they're blood red on the inside. And they're really cool. So you'll see it at the beginning of this video when I repost the whole thing, but it's got a slight like that hue to it. It smells like oranges. It smells like oranges. It's very citrusy. I don't know. Let's try it. It's great. It's great. So, what I'm worried about when I smell that citrus smell, I've made a few different lemons, a few different limes, a few different combinations of those kinds of meads. And it's very easy to accidentally get a floor cleaner taste. Just because the smell is so potent, you just taste it. I taste the ginger. The ginger came through really well. It's got a great sweetness, like a great ginger taste. I don't know if the nettle did anything, to be honest with you. I was really worried that I'd overdone the nettle. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. It's got a great ginger taste, so I like it. I think this is a win. I'm pretty happy with it. It's got a great color. My biggest complaint is that floating nettle in there. If you can look past that, go ahead and do this. If you can control your nettle better than I can control my nettle, go ahead and replicate this. It's easy. Alright, thank you so much. If you're live, I changed my mind. I'm going to move the camera only for a few minutes because I want to talk to you. If you're watching the replay of this, thank you so much. Join us every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to see us study the mead making process live. And like I said, thank you so much for contributing. This is the first time I'm going to post the whole video as one chunk. So if you like it, if you knew and you've watched it all the way till now from the beginning, you're a superstar because that was like 25 minutes long. So thank you so much. But yeah, like I said, if you're live, stay tuned. If you're not live, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next Wednesday. Set an alarm now so you don't forget. Pajamas. Put your pajamas on. Pants are optional. Come back, watch us next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for letting me be here. Skull. See you next time.